Are you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.
Hello everybody, and this is JR Corominas. This is the song Morning Star, and as you can tell, is really fantastic. It's a pleasure to have JR Corominas here with us. How is it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Right, a pleasure. So, we're listening to this song. This is really good, and we just would love to hear about you and your music, your career to these days. What are you up to? Just why don't you take the chance and tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I don't know where to start, so I guess I'll start from where I live. I currently live in Brooklyn, New York.
Awesome.
I've been playing music for over 20 years. It's been my life. I write, record, and produce all of my original songs. I like to experiment and do different things. I'm always trying new sounds and kind of seeing what I can do. And I work really hard on developing my skill set as a musician and just trying to improve every day.
Fantastic. I know what you talk about. You can tell. This is really good, and I'm looking at the track, and the mixing and mastering is really professional. It's really good.
That's awesome.
20 years, my God. How did you get started? What made you get interested in music, and what was your first instrument?
My first instrument was guitar. I started playing. Actually, my first instrument was a drum set when I was 3 years old. But
nice.
I was banging in the living room, and my dad was sleeping, and he came in and he punched a hole in all the drum heads, and he kind of traumatized me. Yeah, what an asshole.
Oh my God.
I know. I got over it though. Years of therapy. But no, my mom bought me a guitar when I was 5 years old, and then like a little mini guitar from a swap meet. And then later on, when I was 11 years old, she bought me kind of this cheap Stratocaster looking guitar, and I started taking lessons, and I was very close to losing interest in it, and I just kept playing, and eventually I got better. Then I played in bands with my friends, and eventually I got into singing, and then I got into playing the keyboard and piano. I did a little bit of choir in high school, and I just kind of combined all those elements together, and eventually started writing songs in the bands I played in, and eventually just ended up going solo after so many traumatic breakups with bands. So it's really hard. So now if I'm going to play live, I pretty much just get a group of guys together who are, good people, good players, and we do it that way.
I never talk about myself, but your story sounds like I can see the blueprint when you hear the years of practice and the thousands of hours that I'm sure you put into mixing, learning, getting it to sound right. And it's always very similar, but I'm sure that your experience with live bands and playing with other people also helped you, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of mixing, I didn't really touch on that, but just to kind of draw you back into my experience, as technology got better with recording and software and all that, I ended up gaining a passion for producing and recording, and I just eventually started doing my own stuff instead of having to go into a studio all the time and paying someone else and usually not being happy with the result. And it's just one of those things that you have to work really hard on the engineering side of it, and you learn a lot, and then it creates a new depth to the material you're putting out, because then not only can you write the music and perform it, you can also shape it and mix it the way you want. So it's kind of a lot to do, but it's fun and it's very rewarding.
It is very rewarding. I agree 100% with you. 100%. And it's a craft itself. The recording and mixing processes, and it's very engaging. It could be really, really fun and very frustrating too.
Oh yeah, there's been times to where you get caught up in mixing a new song, especially if you learn something new and you bounce it out, and then you have to listen to it over and over again, and you just go crazy, and eventually sometimes you just end up right back at the start and say, okay, the original version was the best one.
Totally. And you have to listen to it on your stereo or your car, because it changes. How is this possible? It was perfect. Now it's picking, it's burning. But it's really, really fun.
Especially when you're almost finished, then you just hear one little mistake, and you have to go back and just change it. And oh man, especially after you've heard the song so many times, it can be like pulling teeth.
Exactly. But going back to what you said, it's really rewarding, especially knowing that. I don't know if it happened to you, but sometimes you're like in that moment that you're almost asleep, almost awake, and then you're listening to this perfect song with every single detail and every single instrument, and it's in your head, and you're trying to bring that to reality. So the more you know about composing, about playing, about mixing, that's going to help you. It's going to help you to realize that vision, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. The average listener doesn't understand that, when you're putting together an album, you can take your time. Well, if you're lucky, you can take your time and really make it the way you want. Playing live is a whole different thing. And then on top of it, when you say what's in your head, sometimes it's a little tricky, because there's moments of discovery, and then you're also kind of learning. Maybe the outcome is better than what was in your head originally. And then sometimes, you don't, for me personally, I don't know sometimes I have to hear it first, and then I go, okay. And that's a struggle, because I'll get the rough version and I'll get it pretty far. And then once the work starts, then it's not exciting anymore. And then it becomes more work. And then you reach all these levels of progression, and it's a lot more difficult than people think, and it's not all fun all the time. It's probably 50% fun, and I'm being fair.
Yeah, it's a struggle, and it's the same. Oh man, we could talk about this. It's the same when somebody's a musician and they know, like, how do you feel, like, for the listener, for the person that maybe likes music, maybe it's not, they're just like listening to whatever the music panorama is offering. And then you talk about, okay, so yeah, I'm a musician. I've been like doing this for 20, 30 years, and they're surprised that, what? Okay, why are you not famous?
Yeah.
It's not easy, friends. It's not what it looks like. Can you talk about your experience on this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of have a lot to say about it, but I'll try to keep it short. You know, at the end of the day, the music industry is a business, and you know, when growing up and playing with your friends, and then it actually turning into something that makes money and people live off of, are two different things. And there's a lot of relationships and a lot of work that go into it, and a lot of times those relationships can be damaged, and a lot of times, you know, you can sabotage yourself, and a lot of times you can get caught in a trap. And you've seen it, like where artists, they become very successful with tons of fans and followers all over the world, and their life is a mess, and they end up dying at 27 or blowing their brains out. So it's, you know, and they don't get to enjoy a family life and more life and growing old and everything that life has to offer, because maybe they weren't ready for that. I feel fortunate to get to be where I'm at now, because I was on a self-destructive path, and it's really scary to think that if I would have had more success and still not have been in this place in my life, of what that outcome could have looked like.
Oh man, that's wow. I'm afraid to ask. I don't know how much deeper do you want to get into that, because that could be really interesting for, you know, for people that are maybe in your situation back then.
Yeah, I'm an open book. I mean, ask me whatever.
What, you know, let's focus on the positive. What made you correct that path and go, you know, come back to the right path? What was that moment?
Stop drinking and doing drugs. No, but yeah, just honestly, it's like a lot of self-reflection and therapy and mental health. You know, I think you know, a lot of people get into entertainment because they're looking for a hole to fill, and maybe I had that hole I needed to fill, and I didn't value relationships. And once I felt the pain of all that, luckily I decided to change, and I started making better decisions, and eventually started living better and you know, treating my relationships with more respect, and it just like put me on the right path. And I also had to rediscover my love for music, because at one point you get caught up in trying to make it, and then you realize that there is no making it. Even the biggest bands in the world, I've heard quote that they still feel like they're trying to make it. And I can understand why they feel that way, because, you know, it never ends. That feeling never ends.
Wow.
Sorry, I know it's a little bit heavy, but yeah.
No. This is true talk. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not. It's not unicorns and rainbows. Like, you know, the same way we're talking about getting a good song finished the right way out of you is a struggle. It's really a struggle. And it's the same way to, like you're saying, to make it, to learn, to, you know, like, you gotta break your throat sometimes, learning to sing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Learning what to write that makes and that feels, because it's not, you know, in my opinion, I think you have the right lyrics when nothing else will work instead of that phrase, and you get the feeling, okay, this is it. Nothing else. There's nothing else I can write in here that is going to that has to be here. It's a struggle. It's wow. I mean, I feel like, you know, the more you live, the more you struggle in life, the better your music potentially, right, can be.
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, and also too, you know, when you're talking about the more you live, and I guess the way you live. I'm also a visual artist too, so I draw and paint, and I study different artists and art history, and I'm fascinated by it. So, Salvador Dali, the painter, had a great quote, and he said that painting is an infinitesimally small part of my personality, and I just thought that was so spot on, because he just said it just breaks it down to, it's all about who you are.
Yep.
And you know, and that will show in the artwork, and that's it's a very, very difficult place to get to, because at one point music was everything to me, and like literally was everything, and as romantic as that can sound, it's a very it can be dangerous as well, and you got to keep it in check, you know, because my love for music is will never die, but also too, I will never, you know, life is more important than just music.
Totally. Wow, man, this is you. Wow, we could talk for hours and hours. This is great, man. This is really good.
Let's go. I mean, I have time, so I don't know if you do, but
wow, I'm touched. I don't know what else to go from here. Like, where do you want to take it? What do you want to want to say to people? Like, if you could give an advice to somebody who's you know, who's someplace in your path, right? Maybe at the beginning, maybe in the hall, maybe trying to learn, like, you know, what do you want to say? What do you want to say?
Oh God, that's like, there's so many things. It's hard to boil it down to one thing. I can just say value your relationships. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, I guess, is just value your relationships and take care of them, because, you know, and at the end of the day, you're gonna need people around you, and you're gonna have to do right by them, or else you're gonna be in for a lot of pain.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. Wow. Okay, we have to call you again.
I was gonna ask you. Did you want me to? I asked. I don't know who reached out to me, but if she wanted me to play, do you guys want me to play something? I can play Morning Star.
Oh, come on! Oh yeah, of course. Go ahead. Let's stop the queue. Wow. Yep. Okay, here we are. Okay, JR. This is an honor. Let's go ahead. We're gonna listen to Morning Star.
Wait, hold on. Let me plug in. Hold on.
Yep. It's great. This is great. This is what a true musician does. You're like, do you want to hear me play? Let's check your voice.
I don't know if I can change. Can you hear it?
This is perfect. Okay, we got this is a privilege. We're gonna hear Morning Star live, performed by its composer, its author, J.R. Corominas. It's a pleasure. Please go ahead.
Awesome, thanks. See, I already messed up. I don't know if I can change. I'm acting weird, I'm acting strange. Yeah. Satisfaction don't mean a thing. A lonely star that never came. Yeah. A lonely star remains, yeah. And in the sky it hangs, yeah. The one that never came, yeah. The lonely star remains. Oh. Oh, I don't know if I can feel. Can't tell what's fake or what is real. Yeah. The robot said, come out and play. Don't miss the ones that got away. Yeah. The lonely star remains, yeah. The one that never came, yeah. And in the sky it hangs, yeah. The lonely star remains. A lonely star remains, yeah. The one that never came, yeah. And in the sky it hangs, yeah. The lonely star remains, yeah. Oh. Oh, oh,
My God! Wow! That was okay. Have no words. That was fantastic. I can hear.
Thank you.
That was impressive. That was really good. I love your voice. I could hear some of the influences that that were influences to me as well. But I'm not gonna say them. If you wanna, if you wanna mention, like what do you feel? What do you feel were your biggest influences?
Well, I'm curious to hear what you heard.
Oh, okay. A little bit of Silverchair in some of the transitions.
Nice.
I don't know, a little bit of Stone Temple Pilots, maybe in the way you sing. but I'm afraid to like make comparisons, right? There's never fair. It's never fair.
First off, those are two really great bands. Daniel Johns is an amazing singer.
Yes.
And amazing writer. I love Stone Temple Pilots. Scott Weiland was one of my heroes. Rest in peace. And the music in Stone Temple Pilots is amazing.
Yes.
As far as my influences, I just draw on the history of music all the way from classical music to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, everything. I love Queen. I love the Beatles, Nirvana. I love the Smiths. I love Radiohead. For newer bands, I love like 2000s. Arcade Fire is awesome. I love Interpol, Kings of Leon, the Deftones for heavier stuff. I used to really be more into metal. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jimi Hendrix. You know, all of those. Smashing Pumpkins. You know, there's so much great music out there, but like my top favorite would definitely have to be Queen. Especially like for artists, Freddie Mercury, Kurt Cobain, Tom York is amazing. I love Morrissey. Those are some of my top favorites. David Bowie, of course. How can I forget him?
We're gonna say, I mean, good taste.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
You know, all of the ones you mentioned, I can put them in my list too.
White Stripes, Rage Against the Machine.
Yep. I could add. I mean, personally, I would add Tool.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much good music that, like, people like yourself, you know, other bands that. What's happened? I wonder what's happened. Like, you know, it's not that there's not enough good music still, right? It's just maybe the paths or the ways. I don't know where maybe the general public interest is gone somewhere else. I don't know. What would you say it is?
I think, yeah. That's an interesting question, because I think a lot of people feel like that about certain time periods in their music. Like, you know, people who grew up in the 70s feel that way about the 80s and so on. And, you know, that's why I think, you know, like some of my favorite songs were written years before I was even on this earth, you know, 200 years. Like, you know, I love Mozart, Beethoven, and like some classical composer, Schubert, you know, like that are just amazing, timeless music. And then there's things that come out today that may not be as mainstream. And then you hear like a pop song that may be a well-written pop song, you know, like, you know, I'm sure, you know, I'll hear like Michael Jackson, and to some people who are older than me, and I'll talk about Michael Jackson, and I'm like, yeah. And, you know, when they were in their heyday, they thought Michael Jackson was lame compared to, like, you know, Guns N' Roses, which I love Guns N' Roses too. But it's just like, it's hard to say, because someone may feel that way about Justin Bieber now. They may say, okay, a Justin Bieber or The Weeknd or something is amazing, you know, and then grow up and feel differently. And so I think it's good to be able to appreciate all types of music, which most people will agree with me on that. But as far as the mainstream culture, I think maybe the sound of the guitar and like the classic rock sound, it's been around for so long that when they hear like an electronic music, which I like too, and, you know, I love when certain bands do electronic stuff, or certain DJs. Like I said, there's awesome electronic producers out there too. So it's interesting to see like what's up at the forefront, but it's also nice that there's the internet to cater to people who just want to hear good music, you know, and you can cultivate that fan base online and have people who love to listen to your music. And I think that's great. I mean, even like if you study the early 90s when Kurt Cobain and Nirvana blew up, you know, he talks about how there was a music market for people who just wanted to hear good music, and it became a fad. So it became the biggest thing because there was only one outlet, you know, MTV and the radios and stuff. So it's like, yeah, it became a fad, but like it caught on with people who really were just like, okay, I like music, you know, I'm not really into just listen to a song because it's a party song, which there's nothing wrong with. But there's a lot of people who approach it with more of an artistic mindset who can listen and go, okay, wow, there's more there than there's a lot that, you know, they may become a fan of the writer or the style as opposed to just maybe like a dancing pop star who's trying to further a modeling career.
I agree, 100%. You know, it requires a somewhat of open-mindedness to be beyond, you know, like styles or genres, and just cultivate that appreciation for what it is good in your perspective, right? And there might be other goods for somebody else, right?
Absolutely. And you can also say, you know, some people are great performers, you know, like, and some people are just great singers. Some people are good at multiple things, and you may be able to appreciate, you know, like, for example, I think Michael Jackson was an amazing performer, a great songwriter and singer, but, you know, I compare him to like, let's say a Freddie Mercury, or like even a Kurt Cobain or Bob Dylan or John Lennon, you know, who just sits there and plays guitar and sings. It's just like, whoa, you know, it's okay. You can appreciate the dance moves, and you can appreciate what each artist is bringing to the table, and that's what I think is powerful, and not a lot of people really realize that, and that's okay. It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow, this was incredible. You know, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely gonna follow up. You know, be asking you when you release anything new. You know, and promote the heck out of it as much as we can. Right?
No. I'm always releasing new things. I've slowed down a little bit because I've been developing some new sounds and trying and experimenting. I should really say, but yeah, there's always stuff that comes out on my Spotify or any of the streaming stuff. So I'll post it. Can I just ask you, how'd you guys find me?
Oh wow.
I don't know if you want to put this on the.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We can talk about it. So what we do is like we go, we scout, we look through the internet and every possible outlet, and it's the filter is quality. So we get a list monthly, and this is what I do. I go one by one and I listen to them, and you know, this is what we do. Then we get in touch with the artist, and if they're interested, we feature them. But
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're ever come down to the city, but if you do, hit me up. You know, we can if I have a show or something, or even just want to go out for dinner or whatever. Like, I'd love to meet you in person.
Nice. You know. Absolutely, definitely will do. This was awesome. I'm very impressed. This guy's music is fantastic, and he has stuff to talk about. J.R.
And
Corominas.
I would like to say one more thing. That I am a father. I am a father. My son is 2 years old. He'll be 2 in September. His name's Ozzy.
Beautiful.
I love him more than everything in the world. And my fiance Haley, his mother, who's amazing, and they're just the most important people in my life. So I love them very much. Just throwing that out there.
There's nothing else to add. Okay, so J.R. Corominas, Morning Star. This is a fantastic song. We're gonna say goodbye for now, and we're gonna play his song, and we'll definitely follow up and keep an eye on you. We'll stay in touch. So this was wonderful. Thank you again so much. We're really proud to have you. And
awesome. Thank you very much.
Keep it up. All right. So let's go listen to it. Morning Star. All right, so there's nothing else to add, honestly. This guy is an artist. J.R. Corominas, Morning Star.
Are you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.